Okay, welcome to another episode of Tales from the Grapevine. So, we're taking it way back again, taking a time machine. Go grab your popcorn or your nostalgic candy, and we're gonna go and watch and talk about some nostalgic shows, TV shows that you used to watch, from the 90s to the 2000s. Again, we're going to keep talking about that because they're fun to talk about. Childhood movies that you grew up with, then the Disney Channel era, and which era wins in your opinion at the end. So stay tuned for my opinion, stay tuned for the whole showdown here. Let's get right into it. So the cartoons in the 90s that defined the era were Rugrats, which were babies with full-blown adventures and life wisdom, which was very interesting because I've never seen Rugrats. Actually used to kind of creep me out when I was a kid. And I was like, they were just, from what I remember, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember I thought they were spoiled, to be honest, but maybe not. Maybe they did have life wisdom. Hey Arnold, I don't remember this one. The most emotionally mature football-headed boy. Let me know in the comments if you've seen this one or not, but I am curious. Hey Arnold. I wonder if, I just want to see if I've seen, oh, this guy. Okay. I've seen him, but I've never really watched him that much or that I remember. Okay. Sorry, just trying to get back. Next was Doug. Simpler storytelling, iconic green vest, and the beats. I'd like to do some nostalgic books next because there's Junie B. Jones and there was the Robert Munch, Dr. Seuss. Who else? There's so many. Okay, I don't know if I remember Doug, but let's see if I can pull him up here. Doug. Yeah, I don't think I've ever really watched him. Okay, and then we're down to, I believe, two more. So, Animaniacs, smart, chaotic, and a bit edgy for kids cartoon. And then Recess, that one show made schoolyard politics epic. Although the school politics were very different when I went to school. There was the popular crowd, but no one crowned a king, and there wasn't that high school bully. There was multiple high school bullies, and they weren't bullies directly, but indirectly, where they would talk smack about you. I might need a new webcam because this one just totally stopped recording on me. Anyways, going back to the politics of Recess, they were a lot of bullies, but they were not bullies directly. They were more indirectly, where they would talk behind your back a little bit too much. And so I wasn't dumb. I just didn't say anything because I didn't care. Live action gold, the Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Talking Cat, magical high school drama. I'm sure there was love, best friend getting mad at best friend. Let me know in the comments if you watch this show. I did not watch this show. Same with Clarissa Explains It All, 90s girl boss energy before we had the term. Again, have not seen this one. Or Are You Afraid of the Dark, campfire storytelling, plus childhood fear. I'm going to look up Are You Afraid of the Dark, because that one sounds familiar. You Afraid of the Dark. Nope, never watched that one. What about Clarissa Explains It All? Because it sounds familiar. Clarissa Explains It All. Kind of. Maybe I've watched it. Okay. And the next one is Boy Meets World. That one was my personal favorite. Every moral lesson ever packed into a TGIF slot. I grew up watching Boy Meets World. I liked that one. Never cared for Girl Meets World. I didn't think it was as good. I don't know what it is, but the nostalgia shows, they just do such a better job. I don't know why, and it's nothing against anyone's acting. I just don't know what it is, but there's something about it that makes it better. So shows that had slower pacing, real slice of life storytelling. Cartoon intros were bangers, and most were aired on Nickelodeon or one Saturday morning. I don't remember one Saturday morning, but I do remember getting up Saturday and Sunday watching cartoons. But my shows are more of like the 2000s, or mine was actually the Berenstain Bears, but I don't remember. It's not Berenstain Bears, it's Berenstain Bears. I do remember it being with an E, not an A. What was it? The year, who assumed partial authorship in 2002. So this was more of my show, Berenstain Bears. I remember the E, not the A. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we did switch in the Matrix, or maybe there was a legal reason and they had to change it, so they trucked us all. Anyways, in 2000s TV show, the Disney Channel / Nickelodeon takeover, Lizzie McGuire. She was more like an icon. I loved the movie. I loved This Is What Dreams Were Made Of. The she was I liked the cartoon of her. I just, I was too young and I never really went back to watch it growing up to remember most of it. I didn't realize Gordo loved Lizzie, though. It took me a long time to realize that until the movie. That's So Raven, Vision episodes plus comedy timing, they were also good for like teaching young kids life lessons, like when Corey got caught smoking, or he was covering up for someone. I can't remember who it was. Corey in the house, though, it was good, just not as good without Raven. I was always jealous of her room in the basement. When they got the room in the basement, I was like, I want that room. That should have been my room. No, but they did a good job with that show. Then there was The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I love that one. I still watch it now. I'll keep it going now. It was like, what kind of life is that? That's an awesome life. You get to live in a hotel. You have a whole building surrounding you of gym, arcade games, maybe live theater, live entertainment, if you could go to those for free. I don't know, I know it's just a show, but what the contract was, right? But you also have a pool, a hot tub, what else? What kind, that's a whole life. And you have 20, they're on the 23rd floor, they have 20 other hallways to they have 20 other hallways to go and play in, even though Mr. Mosby was always there catching them. But still, that was awesome. That's one of my favorite shows, because I always think, what a life. And then there was a spin-off of Sweet Life on Deck, which I thought was just as good. Drake and Josh, Hug Me Brother, and Memeable Forever. I didn't care for that show that much. It was okay. I only watched a little bit here and there. It wasn't I was not a die-hard fan like I was for Zack and Cody. I'm still not a die-hard fan for Sweet Life. I just like to watch the show because it's good. Zoe 101, dreamy boarding school life with an iCarly crossover. To be honest, I was jealous of the Zoe 101 era. I wanted that room, to sleep in that room and pretend, and then you get to go to school and you get your own dorms and your roommates. That was cool to me. I actually, Zoe 101 inspired me, and I actually, if you see their walls and you see the built-in shelves in their walls, I have those in my room. That was inspired by Zoe 101. iCarly, never watched it, and Kim Possible, a cheerleader who saves the world. Yes, please. I think that's pretty cool too. I don't remember Kim Possible since it's been a long time since I've seen it. But iCarly was okay. It wasn't my favorite, but I know lots of people who love the show. But with these shows came sassy, came life lessons. A little more in Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, I realized there was more words that seemed to be allowed, the one episode with that $20,000 kiss, if you remember that, between some kind of sports player and a lingerie model. I was surprised when they said lingerie model, to be honest. Something like that growing up watching it. There was trendy outfits, there was like pop culture started to come alive a little bit more. And then in that era there was also the High School Musical, where Ashley Tisdale was also still playing the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, and doing the High School Musical movies as well, which I am sort of jealous of being not being a part of that. That was seemed like a cool that was such a cool era. It always brings me back to my childhood, and it makes me want to go to California. I don't know why, it just does every time I think of that movie. The second one, High School Musical number 2, is my favorite. Okay, childhood movies, growing up in the 90s, going back from TV shows to movies now. So, The Lion King, iconic songs, and Mufasa's death trauma. Unfortunately, I didn't grow up watching The Lion King. I've seen it here and there, but I've watched the full thing once. Aladdin, same thing. Robin Williams as the genie was unmatched. Mulan. I just remember the sword being in here. I don't know why, it kind of creeped me out as a kid. And of course, I watched Tarzan. I love Tarzan. Then the live action favorites, Matilda. That was my go-to movie all the time. So Magical Justice and Chocolate Cake Revenge. The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan and the iconic Handshake. I always get that one mixed up with Ashley and Mary-Kate Olsen. They did, I think it's called It Takes Two. Just put in movie. Yeah, It Takes Two. That one, for some reason, always throws me off with The Parent Trap. I get those two mixed up. I don't know why. I shouldn't get them mixed up. It's two different storylines. Or it's similar. No, it's similar. They take each other's place. And then, I don't remember the Parent Trap, but It Takes Two. The one girl who's in a foster care system kind of accidentally sets up with the rich girl's dad, kind of. I can't remember how to explain it. I'm not doing good at explaining it. So I'm going to leave it to your imagination. Space Jam with Michael Jordan plus Looney Tunes equals childhood's peak. Didn't really watch that one. And The Sandlot, You're Killing Me, Smalls. So the cool thing about nostalgia is VHS tapes. When you got to the store and you went to the Blockbuster store on a Friday evening with your family, and you picked out a couple movies, you go get your snacks, and then you put the movies in the VHS tape, and you just watch your movies on the Friday night until bedtime. Now going back to the childhood movies, but not going back, going forward in the 2000s, the Disney Channel original movie era, Cadet Kelly with Hilary Duff. Watched it, it was okay. The Cheetah Girls, I wanted to be a Cheetah Girl. I always pretended to be one. Girl group goals, matching tracksuits, that was such a style back then. Smart House, I do remember that a little bit. Alexa walked so Pat could run, and then Pixel Perfect, Hologram Girl, Pop Star, Peak Weird DCOM. Those ones I can't talk too much about, except those two, the Smart House and Pixel Perfect, although the Smart House does sound familiar. I'm gonna look it up. Smart House TV show. Oh, this one. Okay, I remember this one. I do and I don't. Like, I haven't watched it forever. Okay, now we're going on to theatrical releases. When this was becoming bigger, I believe, at some point, was the theatrical releases and teen hits. High School Musical. I love how it says Troy Bolton. That's it in my notes. But him and Vanessa Hudgens, like, I don't know, something about just their characters back then, and then growing up with them, and not just those two, sorry, I should say Ashley Tisdale and her brother, I can't remember his name, all of them, just like I just wish I was a part of it, kind of, a little jealous, but that's okay. Not everyone can be a part of everything, right? But we got to still watch it and be a part of it through an audience, which was still cool. Freaky Friday, that one was another go-to of mine. Same with Mean Girls, not for little kids, but everyone watched it. Anyways, yeah, I watched it as a little girl. I love that one. I love Amanda Seyfried in it, Rachel McAdams, Lindsay Lohan. There was one with Lindsay Lohan that I would prefer over Mean Girls, and that was, I think it's Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen or something. That one was one of my favorites. Shark Boy and Lava Girl, I didn't really care for either, but when High School Musical came out and like the dances, the extras, they would teach you how to do the dances. I loved watching those, but it seemed so cool just to be on those sets back then. And then the games, the Disney Channel games were really cool with Miley Cyrus, the High School Musical cast, the Jonas Brothers, all of them came together. That was neat to watch too. I wish again I was a part of it, but I was not. But yeah, that's it. That's the final showdown. So comparing the vibes in the 90s were more imaginative, grounded life lessons, warm and fuzzy, and the 2000s were flashy, energetic, sass, like London Tipton, yay me, pop music, and chaos. So which one do you think? What show would you rewatch? But which one do you think outshines the other? And like they are different in their own way, in the best way. But what shows would you rather watch? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll chat soon. Bye now.